Hello, this week I'm at the VSCC Prescott event and just trying to do a bit of sketching this morning before I go and do a drawing workshop here at the Bugatti Trust, where I'll be teaching people how to draw cars. But I've got an hour or so just before I have to do that, and I've found a lovely subject, which is this. It's a GN special built by a friend of mine, Richard Scaldwell. Here it is. It's a fabulous car, plenty of fun stuff to draw on there. So here's what I've got so far. So this is the most important step. It doesn't look like much, but I've been concentrating really hard to get my measurements and proportions and things lining up properly. So I started with this axle. So I used my pencil just to work out what angle that axle was at, so by getting a tilt on the pencil. And then I measured the far wheel here. I started to use that as my unit of measurement. So I checked there's one wheel width there. And that took me nicely one more to the centre of the front wheel. I think it was two more from there, took me to the centre of the back wheel. So I kind of knew how long or how far apart those three wheels needed to be. And then I could line up, I could use my pencil as a lining tool to work out where the centre of the back wheel should be and how big the back wheel should be in relation to the front two that I'd already drawn. Once I had those three wheels in place and the two axles, then it's not too hard to start just putting the simple body on. It is a very simple shape, this body. So I've got the grille. There's a nice line that runs on the bottom of the bonnet there, right through the bottom of the cockpit area and into the rear wheel arch. So it all kind of lines up nicely as one straight line. So it doesn't look like much, but this is the important bit that you need to get right before you go on to do all the fun shading and that stuff. So I'm going to do that now.
It's a beautiful car, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sort of. Yeah.
It's funny, as people kept saying, oh, it's just in the right spot with that tree over it, and it just occurred to me, yeah, of course, Richard would park it in a nice sort of...
He's worked it all out.
Yeah, he probably got it at 5 in the morning.
I didn't like it by the toilets. It's got there.
Yeah.
Oh, leave it. Look.
All right, see you later.
Yeah, cheers, Stefan.
Have a lovely day, guys. See you soon.
Devil's cherry.
Right, so here it is a bit further on. I started putting some nice sort of shading in, getting a few more details, some contrast, but it's getting a bit stiff. I put the first of the ellipses in with the ellipse templates. That's these things, and just to tidy them up. But it's got a bit stiff, so I'm going to try and just work a bit faster because I'm running out of time before my lesson. And I just want to get a bit more energy and looseness into it rather than this. I don't want it too stiff. So that's the plan next. Right, I think that's the sketch pretty much finished. I managed to sort of loosen things up a bit by, just working a bit faster and roughing up my carefully drawn ellipse template circles. And I've tried to press a bit harder and go deeper with the shadows and be a bit more detailed at this end, this focal point, and press a bit lighter and do less detail down this end so that you kind of get a bit of depth in your picture. It fades out. Also, just because the car's parked under this lovely tree, I thought I probably ought to include the tree too and just frame the drawing a bit so it's not just floating in an empty sea of snow. I'm quite pleased at how that came out. And now I've got to go and get ready for my drawing workshop. This car is one of my favourites at the event. It's the GN Nat. So this is one of the genuine sort of hill climb cars from way back. There's quite a few here that have been built in more recent times using old pieces. But this is one of the proper old ones. And you often see it in photos alongside Spider. Here's the sketch I did last night. So I drew this way back, and before that, when I did it that time, I didn't really know so much about drawing cars in perspective. So in that original sketch, I made a few mistakes. And so it was nice last night just to sit down and spend a couple of hours and draw a proper one without the mistakes in.
Go on, Mush. He's getting quite a turn of speed up here now. I'm not coming all the way. There he goes.